It's been a whole month since the long-awaited next entry into the Mario Kart franchise, Mario Kart World, came out. As a launch game no less. I've been waiting for this game for well over a decade. But now that it's been a whole month since launch, and as someone who grew up with Mario Kart DS and one of the only people who played Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, I wanted to express my honest opinions about Mario Kart World. This Mario Kart controls a bit differently from Mario Kart 8, but it didn't take too long getting used to. The tricks are especially cool, opening up many different paths for shortcuts. Each track in this game is also really fun to play on and are really well made. In fact, this game's iteration of Rainbow Road might be my favorite. Moving on to the different game modes, I'll be honest, I haven't played online yet, since I don't currently have an active NSO subscription. I also haven't touched the battle modes past the first day of release. From what I can tell, they're unfortunately limited to coin runners and balloon battle. Balloon battle has had a positive change though, since losing all your balloons knocks you out of the round, with you getting no points. But it's really unfortunate that these stages are really just areas in the game repurposed for this game mode. I understand why they may have made that decision, but it doesn't make it any less disappointing. Now there are two main modes, the Grand Prix, which is a staple of every Mario Kart and comes with 8 different cups, and a brand new mode called Knockout Tour, which comes with 8 different tours. The Grand Prix is a bit different from the usual Mario Kart Grand Prix, as instead of doing 3 laps on each of the 4 tracks in each cup, you instead do the traditional 3 laps on the first course, then you drive to every other track and often do a single lap on them instead. While this was a little cool initially, I found that I started missing the classic 3-lap races. Racing only a single lap on each of these tracks made me feel like I was missing most of the fun to be had on them, like I was just passing through them. I really wish they made it a little longer, like making the player do a minimum of 2 laps on these tracks instead of only 1. Unfortunately, the way they did it made it feel more like a downgrade compared to the Grand Prix of the other games. Luckily, the versus races and time trials still have them, but it's such a shame that the Grand Prix cuts down on it. Playing these courses in versus and time trials really makes you appreciate them more, from their design to how the potential shortcuts are laid out. For example, there's this shortcut on DK Mountain which feels awesome to pull off. Then there are also really amazing shortcuts the community have come up with, like this awesome one on Bowser's Castle. And this shortcut on the Great Question Mark Block Ruins. These new tricks leave a lot of potential for different shortcuts, and nailing them on time trials is super satisfying. But while the Grand Prix may suffer from this open-world format, Knockout Tour certainly does not. Knockout Tour is the reason people should be playing this game. It is one of the most fun Mario Kart game modes I have ever played, especially with friends. It is just pure, fun, delightful chaos from beginning to end. I really feel that this should have been marketed more as the game's main selling point. It is probably one of the most balanced Mario Kart modes I have ever played. And when I say balanced, I mean that whether you are an experienced player or not, this mode is so chaotic that a single bad item or bad turn could easily lead to you losing. I found that in multiplayer, the CPUs are especially ruthless, with them almost always being near you. This becomes especially apparent during the last stretch of the tour, where they appear to become very aggressive with their methods of trying to overtake you. In fact, I've had many moments during knockout tours where there was only one CPU in the top 4. Yet despite them being in 4th when the final stretch starts, they were somehow able to rush ahead of first place and win. The CPUs feel much more aggressive during multiplayer compared to single player. Something I've heard in online threads is that apparently these CPUs actually get easier if you play worse. If you don't trick or drift, it's actually easier to beat them. In fact, if you turn on all the auto options, you can win by doing nothing, even on 150cc. I haven't had much issue with the CPUs in single player, so I can only assume that the rubber banding is more aggressive in multiplayer. Going back to versus races for a second, in relation with knockout tours, it's such a shame that you can't choose custom routes for the tours. Why are we restricted to only choosing from the tours that are already there? Why can't we make a custom one? There are so many different and unique routes available. Instead of pushing online players to play connected tracks when they only want to play 3-lap races, why not make them more of a specialty for the tours? Why not a system in online knockout tours where players could vote on the first track and subsequent routes? I feel that that would make it a lot more fun than what they're trying to do. Alright, so right off the bat, Mario Kart World has a very unique UI screen, which is wildly different from any of the previous entries. But I kinda like the new look. It's also really nice how you can seamlessly transition into free roam from the title screen. The game modes and the car selection screen are also displayed pretty nicely. The main issue I have with the UI is with the character selection screen. Like, what the heck is this? Why is every costume taking up a separate character slot? This UI makes it a nightmare and tedious to find a character you are looking for. Not only that, if you play split screen, the screen only gets worse. If you play with 2 players, this is what the screen looks like. And if you play with 3 or 4 players, this is what you're left with. I have no idea why they changed it from the, frankly speaking, much better character selection screen Mario Kart 8 had. In Mario Kart 8, every character is shown on the screen, making it easier to look for them. Characters with different costumes or colors pull up a mini selection screen where you can easily pick the style you want, and in multiplayer, the selection screen also wasn't split up between players. Maybe they wanted to show off each character dancing as you look for the character you wanted? Not really sure, since that could have also really easily been implemented into the Mario Kart 8 layout. I'm not sure why the free roam was seemingly marketed to be the main reason to get this game, because this is mostly a way to relax and find fun collectibles rather than an open world with tons of stuff to do. I often find myself driving aimlessly, relaxing, and doing fun side things like doing missions or collecting peach coins. There is also a lot of space and places you can drive to, but don't go into here expecting much. Speaking of aimlessly roaming around, I also often found myself listening to the soundtracks, and wow, there are a lot of remixes. From what I've seen, over 300 soundtracks. From remixes of soundtracks from older Mario Kart games, to remixes from 3D Mario games like Mario 64, to remixes from 2D Mario games, to remixes from Yoshi games like Yoshi's Island, to, surprisingly, even a remix from the obscure educational SNES game Mario Paint. Mario Kart World is a really fun game that I recommend others give a try. You can also attach a camera for funny moments with family and friends, but it's not really necessary. Do I think it's worth the premium $80 price tag? Well, if they keep updating it and giving it support similar to what Mario Kart 8 had, then probably. But in its current state, no, I can't say it is. But do I think it's worth the $50 you get it for in the bundle? Yes. Hi, thank you for watching this video, or should I say review. This video is actually something I've been planning for a while. I've just been seeing these opinions and thoughts about Mario Kart World for a while, and I wanted to express my own thoughts in a video format. If you enjoyed this video, thank you. I don't actually expect this video to get many views at all, but I do plan on making a similar type of video for Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is a game that is excitedly releasing this week. Yay! Anyways, I'm glad you found this video interesting, and I hope to see you later, hopefully next month, when I eventually round up my thoughts and opinions on Bonanza. Bye!